Can't do it. We'll do it live. Okay. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
Mister, will you please wake up?
We're down on the 8. In trouble. Got a block behind him. Gonna throw and a run. Complete to the 25. To the 30. Lindsey's got 35, 40. Lindsey's got 45, 50. 45, 40. Run, Lindsey. 25, 20, 50, 10, 5. Lindsey stop. Lindsey stop. Lindsey stop.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, baby. It's the Tuesday edition of Snowman in the Morning. Man, lots and lots and lots to get to this morning. Thank you all for joining us. And when I say us, my partner Cole Johnson rides shotgun as he does every day. Good morning, sir.
Good morning to you, sir.
If you would have told me that Mac Jones would throw the ball 3 times and get away with it, and the Patriots would win, normally I would say you're a liar, but because it's Bill Belichick, I'd say you're an effing genius. I mean, Bill Belichick outsmarted the Bills again.
Ask me how much of a problem I had with that.
Let me think. Oh, same answer as mine. None.
Exactly.
None.
I have no problems with that.
Nope.
Because the 3 passes that Mac Jones threw was not an indictment against his talent.
Nope.
It wasn't a referendum against it. It wasn't basically a statement saying, well, we basically have a game manager, quarterback, so we're going to strictly run the ball. No, it was a coach who has been under 2 of the greatest to ever do it.
Yep.
And Terry Marchibroda, and then later on Bill Parcells.
Mm-hmm.
Learning from each of them.
I mean, you outsmart your opponent, okay? And of course, Bill Belichick, one of the greatest to ever do it. You know who my favorite is. You know, 2 of my other favorites. Bill Parcells. You mentioned him, and of course the late great Bill Walsh.
Mm-hmm.
You outsmart your opponent, and with wins like that last night, Bill Belichick said, "You know what? We're going to keep this on the ground. Stop us." And they didn't.
This is a prime example of putting forth a game plan together on the fly.
Yep. He sure did. He sure did. He put that together. You know as well as I, because we've watched plenty of football, he put that together at the last second.
Yeah. Yeah. Before they went out on the field, I bet you Belichick said, okay, it's a little stiff. The winds are bad, and the winds can normally be bad in Orchard Park.
Yep.
So, to minimize any type of damage that we probably could have, we're gonna roll with what we believe is our strength.
Yeah.
Which is their defense and their running game.
And they did it. Hey, I have no problem with a game plan like that, and it's called adjusting on the fly.
Yeah.
It's called adjusting on the dead fly. Let me welcome the folks listening via Real Wise Radio as well as SDM Sportsnet, and we got a couple of other networks, and I know this is going to excite Cole. A couple of other networks, one based out of Tennessee that are in the works that are going to join, that are wanting us to join. So this is building, man. This is really building. 14-10 was the final last night at Rich Stadium. I can't call it Highmark Stadium. I can't call it New Era. It's Rich Stadium.
New Era Field.
New Era Field.
What an absolute joke.
It is a joke. But what this does for the Patriots is solidify their position in on top of the AFC.
Yeah,
because
but
now,
not just AFC East, the AFC in general, yep.
But because now they're going to run away with it. They are going to run away with the division and pretty much the top seed in the AFC.
If they keep playing like this, no other team in the AFC is going to reach them.
Not Baltimore, not Pittsburgh, not Buffalo.
And unfortunately, not Kansas City
Not
either.
Kansas City. You're going to have to go to Gillette Stadium to claim the AFC.
Mm-hmm. And who would have thought those words would come out of any one of our mouths?
Yep.
From 2021, the second year without the god of all gods of NFL quarterbacks, Tom Brady.
We'll settle that piece later, because I like one of your shirts in your VIP shop that
Yes,
I
sir.
am going to get and wear on this program.
Yes, sir.
I believe it says Tom is terrific, but he ain't no goat.
That's correct. That's 100.
And he's not. I hate saying this to Bradyites. But whatever and I have nothing against Tom Brady and his achievements.
I don't either.
I have
one of the most accomplished.
I have
one of the most
nothing
accomplished football players
against Brady.
One of the most accomplished football players
okay?
ever. No,
Believe
nothing
me,
against him.
Nothing against Brady. John Mysak joining us via Facebook. Are we in 1985 with the Patriots? It seems that way. Because remember what the Patriots did in 85? They beat the Dolphins in Miami to win the AFC, and then they got drubbed by the Chicago Bears in the Super Bowl. But
and they were an unexciting looking team in terms of look.
And they hung 31 points in Miami.
Mm-hmm.
They hung 31 points on them.
Yeah.
But I have nothing against Tom Brady and what he's done over the course of 22 seasons. I mean, that right there, 22 years.
It's amazing. Yeah, it's amazing.
22 years in the NFL is amazing. But I'm sorry that people are not going to like what I have said, and you've been with me. Tyree is at it again. You've been with me when I've said this. But for me, it's pretty simple. Everything Tom Brady has done, Montana and Bradshaw did first. And Montana, because he hasn't thrown a Super Bowl interception, nor did he lose the Super Bowl. It's pretty simple. It is pretty simple. It's pretty simple to me.
And I know the arguments that you and I have heard definitely from Bradyites. They'd say, well, I mean, 7 is more than 4. I mean,
how
could you say that
God.
Montana is better? And then now, of course, another feather in their cap. Montana threw for 40,000 yards in his career. Brady threw twice as much.
Okay, and do you know how the rules have been changed to favor the quarterback since then?
Yeah, and changed to favor the quarterback since Brady has been in the league.
Exactly.
But the thing is, I've always said this, and I'll continue to say this. It's funny that you hear this about Tom Brady. People go ham about him being the greatest of all time.
Of course.
And go even more blasphemous than saying he's the greatest football player of all time. And I'm
Which
like,
is a lie.
You're talking about a guy who struggles to run six seconds in a 40, but he's the best football player ever in 101 years of the history. No,
that's a lie. That's a lie. John Mysak said, personally, they played a good game of running it since when are we going to trust a rookie quarterback with not a lot of arm in that Buffalo win? And it's because of the weather that Bill Belichick adjusted on the fly.
Yeah.
He adjusted on the fly.
Yeah, it had nothing to do with Jones's arm.
None.
It was the fact that he felt this was the way they were going to go in order to win. And I trust his football judgment. I mean, the dude has been a coach in any capacity for the last 45 years. So I trust his judgment.
I'll trust him. How many teams did Joe Montana win a ring with? Okay, 4 times. And that's San Francisco.
And
See, that's kind of a LeBron James argument to me. Am I wrong in that assessment, sir?
no, you're exactly right, and you're going exactly where I was going to head.
Thank you.
So
That's a LeBron James argument to me.
yeah, because people are transfixed and probably in a trance about who is in the now, who's the sexy guy now.
Who's the how does my wife put it? Who's the flavor of the week?
Yes, flavor of the week, flavor of the month, flavor of the moment. That's basically that's what Tom Brady is. But the thing is, I always say it in basketball. You all don't go Google and Gaga the same way over Bill Russell.
Yep, they don't. They don't do the same for Abdul-Jabbar or Wilt the Stilt.
Yeah. But Bill Russell almost left the field twice. With twice as many rings as Jordan, coming short on one. So he won 11 rings, but almost nobody, unless they're a Celtics fan or a real old school guy.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about like greatest generation-ish old school sports fan, will ever say that Bill Russell's the greatest basketball player who ever lived.
Yep.
But
Stephen Askins joining us. Hey, Stephen. Hail to the Redskins, my friend. He says it's Snowman on a Tuesday morning. Damn right. Damn right. And Cole Johnson riding shotgun as well. And I got to say this before we continue. Cole, I've absolutely loved the fact that you're my radio partner. I love having you on each day. And it's made the show for me very, very easy. It's made it much, much easier. So I thank you for taking on that role for me. I can't say thank you enough.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you in return for trusting me with the role. Whatever I can do to help this make it more enjoyable for you.
Yeah. So we're wrapping up Monday Night Football. Later on, we're going to have our overreactions for Week 13. I said one of them yesterday to lead off the show. I'll repeat that a little bit later. Greg Rakestraw, my good friend who's in Indianapolis, will hop on during hour 2.
Man.
Uh-oh. What'd you find?
Okay. All right, so I was on the Total Sports Network website, and I just saw the title of a video where one of the analysts is one of the analysts, quote, is praying to the football gods for a Bucks Patriots Super Bowl. Closed quote. No, I'm not. Because I am in media. I would be hearing nothing but that outside of sports for 2 weeks running. No, I do not want that.
I don't want that either. That's a Super Bowl I won't watch. I'm sorry. The last 3 Super Bowls my wife and I have watched together, either at B-Dubs or at home. I would not watch that one. I'm sorry. I mean, it's bad. I'll tell you a funny story. Before we go to break, I'll tell you this funny story. Super Bowl 53, which is, of course, was in Atlanta.
Right.
Patriots and Rams. Okay.
People thought that was going to be
like
laden shot.
A 45-41 kind of game.
Right.
Okay. It was 3-3 late in the fourth period, and as soon as Brady hit that pass to Gronkowski in the fourth quarter, I looked at my wife and she looked at me, and we're like, we're out of here.
Yeah, game over.
And they scored. It was 10-3. We got halfway to the car, and we hear Jim Nantz say, Patriots interception. Man, we must have got home. It was a 10-minute drive. We got home in 7 minutes.
They already tacked on the field goal.
They already had tacked on the field goal by the time we got home. We're getting ready for bed. And I said, I think I know how I'm going to open my show tomorrow. And without blinking, My wife said, "What the was that?" I mean, you think she knows me? Let's go to a break, but when we come back, the greatness of Stephen Curry will be discussed yet again, but we want to tell you portions of this program is brought to you in part by Jaguar South Shore. If you log online to jlrsouthshore.com, if you're with the Northwest Indiana corridor, give them a call also at 219-245-2500. That's 219-245-2500. We shall return. I promise.
Welcome back to Snowman in the Morning.
The Tuesday edition thereof. As we welcome you back inside of the noisy studios, and thanks to my daughter for that name. She gave the studio that name down in North Carolina, and pretty soon we're going to attach a sponsor to it. This portion brought to you in part by Williams Hardwood Specialist. Quality you can stand on. Give my friend David a call today at 219-221-1093. Get interactive with us. We're live on YouTube. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the brand new Snowman in the Morning YouTube channel. My buddy Tyree already causing chaos, but I want to say I love you for that. He's not worried about the Patriots. Patriots not going to the Super Bowl. That Tyree said that. I got to get Ty back on the show because we're going to have a very fun knockdown, drag out spar with talking sports, but I love when the fans are interactive with us. Speaking of fans, my partner Cole on the show one day mentioned he had a big time man crush on one John Morant, which I do
Yes,
also.
Sir. Yes, sir.
Well, for the past 13 seasons, I've had a big time man crush on Wardell Stephen Curry II.
No.
As if it weren't that obvious. John's back with us on the game picks. I went 9-5 and have a 12-game pick streak on Monday Night Football. You know what, John? You've given me an idea. I'll talk to you about it later. And congratulations to John on that streak. Yeah, I've had a man crush on Steph because last night, at the end of the first quarter, should tell you everything you need to know about Steph. It was 28-24. Mm-hmm. Steph had the ball inbounds, got it ripped from him for stealing a basket. It was 28. It made it 28-26. So what does Steph do? Get the inbound pass, dribbles to the logo, and then hits one from half court. 28 becomes 31, and the Warriors are on their way. Mm-hmm. They won it 126-95 last night, and they are one of two teams, Phoenix being the other, that have now 20 wins on the season.
20 up and 4 down.
20 up and 4 down. Mm-hmm. If that doesn't tell you everything you need to know about Steph Curry, who is now 16 away from Ray Allen's all-time three-point record, then I don't know what does.
And
I'm still mad at that comment you sent me that someone actually said Trash Brothers.
Yeah, I know. I sent it to you to Fan Said Flame because mm-hmm. I'm not nearly as huge of a fan of them as you are, but I totally respect them, and I have zero hate toward them.
Mm-hmm.
Because their greatness cannot be denied. I don't care who you are, their greatness can't be denied. Because these two don't quote look the part of the total basketball player today, close mm-hmm. quote. I'm not going to dismiss them because their best quality is the fact that they have a range that's ridiculous on the basketball court. Yep. I'm not going to hate on them for that.
Yep.
And for Steph, he revolutionized the game. And when people look at me as if I have a third eye on my head,
mm-hmm.
I just retort by saying, okay, look at the game in 2010, look at the game today. I dare you, I double dog dare you to tell me that this man, number 30, who wears the blue and the mustard, out in the Yay area, thank you, E40, that because of his influence of actually, as soon as he picks it up from half court, he can chunk up a three and hit it mm-hmm. with about 40% regularity.
Yep.
That the other 29 teams in the NBA did not try to copy said style. One of those teams with their king on it is not excluded from that.
Exactly. Sure isn't.
So people have to give their props to where it's due. This guy changed the game. I mean, he changed the game. Everybody's trying threes now. Mm-hmm. Everybody.
Mm-hmm. What have I always said? Steph took an anomaly and turned it into a weapon.
Mm-hmm.
And you piggybacked exactly right. on it and mm-hmm. said the Warriors saw that weapon and turned it into a strategy.
Yeah.
Beat us from distance. We dare mm-hmm. you to beat us from distance.
Yeah. And then when they draw you, and believe me, I have good prior experience of this. when they draw a team out to have that 3-point shooting contest mm-hmm. within the game, that's where they have you.
Yeah.
Because the beauty of the Warriors then and now is there's little things to the game that people don't talk about them.
Right.
One being the hockey assist, because mm-hmm. I think Curry is the king of it.
Mm-hmm.
Another is the long rebound.
Right.
Because that's what a lot of missed threes produces.
Yep.
Long rebounds, and normally what happens with long rebounds, you have thoroughbreds who just simply, when the ball is in what ball is in the Warriors' hands, they head to the other side of the court.
They run. They
run and they run you ragged. And it does, and most of the shots they attempt aren't threes.
Nope. Because they kill you on the inside.
Mm-hmm.
They absolutely brutalize you. This is what a lot of people don't get. Yes, they have the Splash Brothers. Yes, they can shoot from distance.
Definitely.
But it's like you said, death by 1,000 paper cuts on the inside.
That is what they are about. I will say it until this dynasty is over. The Golden State Warriors on offense, it is like the Princeton style of offense on steroids.
It is. Because you got the line from 23-6, and then they rule the paint. The shortest people on the team rule the paint because when they draw you outside, before you can say backdoor, they got a bucket.
That's what I find ridiculously beautiful about their style. It's like, man, I was taught all this, you too, I was taught all this while that the biggest guy is supposed to rule the paint.
Mm-hmm.
But you got this team where you have a guy who's the basically the point guy, not necessarily the point guard, but the point guy who is what, 6'6", in Draymond Green.
Yep.
And the dude is directing traffic in the paint beautifully, masterfully.
Mm-hmm.
Much basically what they do with Draymond, and we've seen this.
Yep.
Because we've seen many big men who do this. But they basically took him and say, okay, you may not be the one who scores, but be basically like a big man, like Kareem, like Shaq, like Hakeem, like David Robinson, like Pat Ewing. Be that guy, or Moses Malone. Be that guy when you get it in the paint, you survey everything out on the floor.
Yeah.
And you read the defense. Basically like a quarterback. You read the defense. Whichever is the man that's freest, you give him the ball.
And he reads it.
And he reads it. And what helps him out is that there's always two people cutting to the basket. Almost at all times.
At all times. Times.
Brilliant strategy from Steve Kerr. And then you try to defend that because they'll hit you through 2, 3, 4 in a row with that, and then all of a sudden they'll bomb you with 3.
Mm-hmm. and then they'll blow you out of the building from distance.
Mm-hmm.
They'll blow you out of the building from distance. John poses a great question. I think I'll make this my question of the day. Who's everyone's favorite 3-point shooter? John, I'll answer your question. I got too many. I have too many to name. We'll pose that question again at the bottom of the hour.
I do too. Okay.
I got too many to name as my favorite 3-point shooter of all time. On to the Bulls. They beat Denver 109-97 despite a triple-double from Nikola Jokic, and I'm developing a man crush on Nikola Jokic because of how he plays the game, inside and outside. But this Bulls team, I warned everybody at the top of the year to watch this Chicago Bulls team. Look at them now.
It's dangerous to look at how cohesive DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine are.
And DeRozan didn't even play last night. LaVine had 32 points.
Mm-hmm. It's dangerous to look at them, and and you see the cohesion already, the chemistry already, and we're not even 2 months into the season yet.
Nope.
And you're seeing it. You're seeing how this team just meshes, and oh boy,
isn't it beautiful? Isn't it beautiful?
It is, because they play good. They can play good brand of basketball to boot. Mm-hmm. And when I mean basketball, I don't mean just offensively. They actually have become a really good defensive team too. And it's to the point where we talk about the Bucks, which of course they did exactly what we said they were going to do.
They found their rhythm.
They found the rhythm.
They found the rhythm.
And now they're going for broke.
Mm-hmm.
You talk about the Bucks, they talk about the Sixers, they talk about the Heat, and they talk about the Nets. Yeah. And even to a smaller degree, they talk about the Knicks. But that team that that's in the city that's west of Lake Michigan. I think I think we have to look at them.
And I got a big old smile on my face. That's my hometown team.
Mm-hmm.
And as I look at the standings, there's a tie up top the East, only separated by percentage points.
Yeah.
Brooklyn is at 1.
Right.
Look who's at 2. The Chicago Bulls, 17-8.
I mean, this is beautiful because
This is wonderful. This is wonderful.
I know no prognosticator who is steeped in basketball thought the Bulls were capable of doing this.
Exactly.
They thought it would be an improved year. They did not think
it would be this.
No, they didn't think it would be. Yeah, they didn't think it would be a championship contending improvement.
They didn't think it would be 9 games above 500, percentage points behind Brooklyn, who was mostly everyone's pick to come out of the East.
Mm-hmm.
I said, all right. And you know what's bad? In the 7th spot is Philadelphia. And everyone was expecting the Nets and the Sixers to be the top 2 teams in the East. Wrong?
Well, we already know why the Sixers are where they are.
Please.
We need not to go there.
But we're probably going to later. But we already know why that is.
Mm-hmm.
We already know why that is.
And the Nets, this is what makes me laugh about them.
Mm-hmm.
So you have an all-world talent. You have a once-in-a-generation talent in Kevin Durant.
Yep.
And forget keeping them afloat. He's keeping them relevant.
Mm-hmm. He is.
And supposedly you have a once-in-a-generational talented scorer in James Harden, the one which the current president of basketball operations for the 76ers, Daryl Morey, called, quote, the greatest offensive player in NBA history.
Which is a lie.
Close quote. And he's struggling to score 20.
Which is an absolute lie.
And he's struggling to score 20 points in the game. And then you have Uncle AWOL.
Oh, God.
Being exactly what he is.
Being exactly what we said he was.
Mm-hmm. A man who is without a team. And he's sitting on the sideline watching.
I'd release Michael K. Thank you for this statement. I'm going to find that clip, and I'm going to give credit every time I use it. I'd release his ass today. Because Michael K., and I've talked about this during baseball season, Michael K. said that about Javier Baez. Michael K., host of the Michael K. Show on ESPN 98.7 in New York. Love that man. Love Michael K. and his bunch. And I've had a chance to check out his show. Mike Valenti out of Detroit, couple out of Chicago. And I take a piece out of every one of them and bring it here. But Michael K. said the perfect statement, and I swear to God, I'm going to find that clip, and I'm going to record it, and I'm going to put it in the sound base. But as far as Kyrie Irving goes, I'd release his ass today. Period. I don't care
about compensation.
Hell no. I'd do it the most petty way possible. I have 2 petty ways in my head that I'd release his ass. With an email and with a tweet. And I wouldn't even make it I wouldn't even put it in official language. Oh. I would say, Kyrie Irving, hit the road. I'd send in all of the legal paperwork that needs to be sent in, and then I'd take the most petty way out. Because Kyrie Irving will not help this team, period. He will not help this team.
Oh, let's go all the way petty.
Let's do it.
Yes.
Let's do it.
Yes. So yes, I would type said email. I would say Kyrie Irving hit the bricks. I would say that. And considering that he is imprisoned. That
You're joking,
that
right?
that otherwise, why would we have signs when they do protests that say, "quote Stand with Kyrie," close quote? I mean, he's
Who'd
in
want to
prison.
stand with this liar?
Yeah, he's in prison. I mean, why would he put forth a pitch on Instagram
Mm-hmm.
having basically a chain on his brain and
Yeah.
he's tearing off a lock?
Oh God.
So
Really?
he's utterly imprisoned and he's screaming for freedom. And since he's such a freedom fighter, why don't the Nets release him
Exactly.
on Martin Luther King Day?
Yeah. Yeah. Release
You
him
want
on
to be
that day.
you want to be a freedom fighter so bad? Well, we'll give you a lesson on the day one of the best freedom fighters ever existed,
Mm-hmm.
and we celebrate him and we celebrate you being out of the organization. Bye bye.
Peace
That's when I
out.
would do it. That's when I would do it. MLK Day.
Peace out. If you're listening, Brooklyn Nets organization, take a hint, okay? Because I will say it again, and I know I'm going to get crushed for this, but I don't care. He will not help this team. He hasn't helped this team since he signed on the dotted line
And
almost 3 years ago. He has not helped
and
this team.
and this is a straight question I got to ask. This isn't being funny. I'm being real. You think Kevin Durant has a little salty taste in his mouth because of Kyrie?
Let's see. About every river in the area with the salty taste. How
Yeah,
about that?
yeah,
Every river in the area with the salty taste.
yeah. Because I
Bec-
know he did not envision Kyrie sitting on his butt.
mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, here he is, and
Giving his all.
giving us all after he rehabbed from his Achilles tear
Mm-hmm.
for a year, busted his hump, came back and he showed, well, I'm picking up where I left off last year. Did
Mm-hmm.
that,
Mm-hmm.
and if it wasn't for the fact he wears a size 17, they would have been in the East
They
Conference
would have
Finals.
been in the East Finals. They'd have been in the East Finals.
And people had the audacity in the overtime period when he basically ran out of gas because he played every single
He
minute of Game
played
7.
every minute. He played
And,
every minute, and people still chide him.
yeah,
And
I'm
I
like,
hate that for KD.
yeah, I was like, look, the dude ran out of gas.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and that's not an excuse. That's just the truth. He ran out of gas.
He did.
He gave everything he had, and look at who he had for support.
Nobody.
Next to nothing. So if you have that, I don't even have a bad or discouraging word
No.
to say about him.
No, I don't either.
And this came a year removed from rehabbing his Achilles.
Yep.
And he's doing this without Kyrie. And he comes into this year thinking he would have Kyrie. Here's this issue that comes up, and he is back to where he was last year.
And it's going to remain that way. It's going to, listen to me carefully, Nets fans. It's going to remain that way. I'd love to get Ryan Ruocco on the show. He's one of the voices on the Yes Network for the Nets. He and Ian Eagle. Oh, that critical Broncos fan is back in the house with us. Those legs on KD. Yeah, I understand. Because he had nothing left. I'm going to reach out to Ian Eagle and or Ryan Ruocco, and they're in the midst of their NBA season, because I love how Ryan Ruocco calls a game. Okay, I want to get him on to talk Nets. It's going to depend on the schedule. I know that because he also voices NBA Friday. He also voices NBA Friday on ESPN. So that's going to take some work, and I'll get Shane on that assignment. We got a break. But when we come back, we're going to go to New Orleans, and not for football either. Visit Jaguar South Shore, Jaguar Land Rover South Shore at jlrsouthshore.com, or give them a call at 219-245-2500. That's 219-245-2500. Jaguar Land Rover South Shore. We'll be back. Yeah, we roll right along here on Snowman in the Morning on this Tuesday edition. I think I got a couple of ideas of what we can discuss for hour 2. And it's going to lead into an early appearance of the College Football Express. Usually it's Thursday. I may move it to tomorrow, playing around with the idea. I got notebooks all around me. We'll see how that goes. But there is something I have to do. And I've been wanting it for a while.
Okay.
So, with that thought in mind, I got to send one of these. Email New Orleans Pelicans. CC Zion fans. Subject of email. It ain't working.
Boy.
Body of email. Hear me and hear me well, Pelicans fans. It ain't working with Zion Williamson. Period. He's missed more time off the floor than he's had. He's had more time off the floor than he's had on it. He doesn't look good while playing.
That's a shame.
And he was that way at Duke. I've said this over and over and over again. While everyone was getting hyped about Zion Williamson, I backed off and said, so what's impressive? What's impressive about Zion Williamson that I should get hype about? I'll answer that question. Nothing.
Well, okay. This is how they were looking at it. So you had spectators at ESPN getting hyped and happy when he was a senior in South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
And he was doing those fantastic dunks, looking like a man amongst boys at 17.
Yep.
And it looked as though we had our next big time superstar. And then he does some things at Duke. It's just 1 year there, and everything seems to be fine in terms of the right hype, in terms of the right plays he's done, because the one thing he was able to do is dunk the basketball. Dunk it as impressive as LeBron James.
God.
And so we get to the rookie season summer league.
Mm-hmm.
And he shows that he has this uncommon strength. Someone pulls down a rebound. Dude literally rips the ball out of the defender's hands. And he goes up and he tomahawk jams it, almost reminiscent of Dominique Wilkins.
Yep.
And then we heard nothing but that from July all the way into when he debuted in October. And people were putting this type of hype on him, thinking that he was going to be the next big thing.
Right.
And unfortunately, he's not, because he cannot stay healthy. Sorry, Pelicans fan. I'm sorry.
And on top of that, oh, you're fine. You're fine. And on top of that, I wasn't impressed even with that rip away and slam. Why? He did nothing else the remainder of that game.
That would be correct.
Nothing. Zero, zip, zilch, nana. And he hasn't done anything since he's been in the league. This is a guy who blew his shoe out, or blew out of his shoe.
Blew out of his shoe, yeah.
Against North Carolina on national television. If you want to call ESPN national television, that's a subject for another email. A big dude that has an injury history. You would be correct, that critical Broncos fan. AD 2.0. And AD hasn't played a full season in 9 years. This is the fate that I see for Zion Williamson, unless one of two things happen. A, he gets a dietitian, or B, he leaves New Orleans. And since B ain't going to happen anytime soon, which is unfortunate, then New Orleans, you're going to have to employ a dietitian, because on a recent clip that I saw of Zion warming up, he's gotten bigger. He's gotten more out of shape. He's lagged down even more. And for a number 1 overall pick, to see him like that, and I want the young man to succeed, okay? I want the young man to succeed and be more dominant than any other draft pick in the last 4 or 5 years. Which brings me to the second problem. He's playing out of position. I'll say it again. He's playing out of position. Yeah, you're right. Like OBJ after that one-handed catch. What has OBJ done? Not a damn thing. After that rip and slam in Summer League. What has he done? I'll answer that question. Not a damn thing. And I mentioned one of 2 things he needs to do. How about 3? Needs a dietitian, needs to leave New Orleans, and here I go cussing again. Develop a jump shot. Which leads back to my point of he's playing out of position. They have him in the post playing a 5, and he's undersized. And his girth doesn't help when you can't move. Trust me, I've been there. Your girth doesn't help you when you can't move, and you got little guys posting you up on an almost nightly basis.
They had him at 5.
They had him at the 5.
It's a stretch to put him at the 4 right now.
You know that. I know that. They don't. It's about as
5?
as simple as it gets. It's about as simple as it gets. Will make the big dudes with a lot of injuries will make the body harder to get back in size. Yeah, it will. And Zion is facing such an uphill climb, it's not even funny. Unless he gets out of New Orleans, and I'm not talking about going to New York either, because you know New York's going to make a play for him. But unfortunately, by the time the New York Knicks make a play for him, he will be such damaged goods that he won't even be worth the max. You're looking at about a 2-year process for Zion to get in shape. And I'm going to say this because I saw said high school video in South Carolina. I saw him play at Duke University. I wasn't impressed then, and I'm not impressed now. He was out of shape when he got to Duke. There is a thing called being too big for your britches. And nothing against Zion, the athlete, but his size frightened me.
And speaking of his time at Duke, was it just me, or did it look like he seemed to be out of place with the rest of that team?
He was.
Yeah.
He was out of place the entire time he was there. And he barely played 20 games at Duke. Remind you of somebody? He barely played 20 games at Duke. Once again, remind you of somebody?
Oh, no, I can't think of it. Oh, good Lord. That sneeze. I'm sorry.
I'm reminded of a Connecticut player who stood 7'3", was a beast on the inside, but his cardiovascular weakness cost him a career. The fellow I'm referring to is Hashim Thabit. He was winded by the time his 5th trip up the floor in the first half happened. That is what the fate that looks Zion in the face. Oh, man. Unless Zion gets out of New Orleans and gets with a better team, Milwaukee or Chicago would do just fine. Hell, Billy Donovan would run him ragged. And Zion, come out of the post, will you please? You're getting beat up, you're getting injured, and you can't stay on the floor. You know who Zion should take on the role of? Does the name Larry Nance mean anything to you? If he develops a jumper, he can play the role of Larry Nance with no problem. A power/small forward. And Nance did it for 14 years.
That should be the lane he drives down.
But they're going to keep convincing him in New Orleans that he's the big guy. Sorry, there are better big guys than you, Zion. There are healthier big guys than you. There are more mobile big guys than you.
Yeah, unless he can get muscular
and
improve on his footwork.
Mm-hmm. Say that again, please. Say that last part again, please.
Yeah, so unless he get muscular and improve on his footwork, being in the post will basically be his undoing in the league.
And it's undoing him now. It undid him at Duke. It undid him at Duke University. And I'm sorry, Pelicans fan. This is the fate that awaits him unless he gets out of there. Unless he is shipped off to a team that actually wants to make him right and gets in his head saying, look, you need to get in better shape, because I don't think they're hard on him enough. I don't think the Pelicans drive the point home enough of him needing to be in shape, of him needing to be there for them on a nightly basis. I'm old and I'm old school, and I say there are 82 games in the season. Unless you're injured, unless you're sick, you're scheduled to play them. And in Zion's case, you're scheduled to start them. We will not see Zion Williamson this year. And to a point, I agree with what Kendrick Perkins said. And this is a rarity for me because y'all know how Cole and I feel about one Kendrick Perkins. But he was not tripping when he said, quote, shut Zion down for the year.
He wasn't tripping there.
He was not tripping there.
No.
You need to shut Zion down, put him in the gym, put him in a steam room, and do something that I did back in 2010 when I nearly lost my life the first time. A strict diet. I hate the word diet, but damn it, it works. And for an athlete, that should be second nature. Zion, you need to listen to a dietitian. You need to listen to your strength team. You need to get you a cardiovascular coach. That's what I did. And that's one of the ways I got down from 520 pounds to now 260. It can work. But for me, you got to get out of New Orleans to do it. Because frankly, New Orleans, the Pelicans, that staff, and that administration does not care about you, does not care about your health, does not care whether you're on the floor or not. They don't care. Because if they cared, they'd have been in your ear and they'd have been in your ass about your conditioning. Period. Sincerely, Brian Snow, host, Snowman in the Morning, in proud association with Cole Sports.
Wonderful, wonderful email. What sucks for me about the fact that you had to say that to him is, and send that to him, is he has the makers to be a wonderful athlete.
Oh my God, yes.
and along with it, he's the type of person you root for because he's a kind-hearted guy, and he wants to do the right thing.
Yep.
All the time.
Yep. He does.
And when you see bad things happen to good people, it really sucks the wind out of your sails. And that is the problem here. It's like, man, I mean, because he keeps having the issue with his foot, and it keeps being a detriment. It keeps being a detriment. It keeps being a detriment. And it looks like he's, like you said, it looks like he's no closer to being on the court now than it was when he had the surgery in the first place on his foot.
And the surgery shouldn't have even happened had he gotten himself off the couch and in the gym. Now, I'm not wishing injury on anybody. Believe me, I'm not.
And I know you're not wishing it on him.
No. Yeah. No. But from one big man to another, I was lucky enough to avoid surgery. Okay? Yeah. I will say my statement again. The Pelicans do not care about him or his health. And that's unfortunate.
I agree with you from the standpoint of, I believe they drafted him #1 overall because they wanted to sell tickets in New Orleans and not necessarily build a team around him or build a cadre around him in terms of the said people around him that would have his best interests at heart. And if he were to have both, he will not be in this situation.
And that critical Broncos fan asked a great question. Are the Pelicans a team with a losing culture? Yeah, they are.
Unfortunately. And I think that's why Anthony Davis wanted to leave. Because he saw that it would get no better than when he was there than for them to get past the first round of the playoffs. That was their ceiling.
It was their ceiling. He saw that 2019 Washington Redskins with Trent Williams. Yep, that's why Trent Williams is in San Francisco.
Yeah, so he saw that, saw the culture, he said, "Yeah, I got to get out of here." Yeah, 100%.
Just like Trent Williams with the Redskins didn't see anything going further. Now he's in San Francisco competing, and he's there, ups, downs, and all. He's there with his teammates.
Yeah.
That's what a lot of people don't get. He's there with his teammates. Are they going through it right now? Yeah, but he's there.
And to further your point with Trent Williams, when he was with the WTF, but when he was with the WFT, he knew that culture did not have his best interest at heart. He knew that they did not give a crap about his health. I mean, to the point where he actually said, "I have a concussion and I can't be on this field because it is life-threatening." And the team was like, "No, you don't." That will drain anybody of any sort of joy that they would want to do when they want to apply their trade. And he had to force his way out, and now he's on a team where he seems to have found what he used to do, but he looks like he's enjoying it even more. And that is what I believe you want to impart upon one Zion Williamson.
Absolutely.
You want him to be in a place where he can flourish.
Absolutely. I want athletes to flourish. I do. But he's not going to flourish in New Orleans. As a matter of fact, I'll say the other F word. He's floundering.
Yeah, floundering and languishing there. Yeah.
He is languishing in New Orleans. And this is something I talked about the day he was drafted. I talked about this the day he was drafted. Maybe now they'll listen. Maybe now they'll listen.
Hopefully.
Yeah, I hope so. We're at the halfway point of Snowman in the Morning. It's brought to you by Official Car Cleaning and Detailing. For all my friends up in Northwest Indiana, give them a call at 219-561-6645. That's 219-561-6645. The second hour of Snowman in the Morning is next after this.
Williams Hardwood Specialist offers all types of flooring. We specialize in sports floor resurfacing and installation. We also offer concrete resurfacing and epoxy overlays. Whether it's a small home with 2 bedrooms or the home the size of Michigan City's gym, Williams Hardwood Specialist is the way to go. If you need some hardwood flooring done or redone, give Williams Hardwood Specialist a call at 219-221-1093. That's 219-221-1093.
Hey, Snowman, they're waiting for you. This is Snowman in the Morning.
Yes, it is. It's the second hour of Snowman in the Morning. Glad to have you with us. Working on our video feed here, so stay patient with us for a moment. Cole Johnson there, Snowman here. I tried to promise myself that I would be good. I tried. But I didn't make it.
Okay, what were you trying to avoid?
I was mistakenly perusing social media.
I'm so sorry.
Thank you. In particular, Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
And if y'all are watching the video, you see the look on my face and the face palm I'm doing. There was a picture that was sent to me.
Oh, boy.
Courtesy of Speak for Yourself.
Oh, Lord.
And anybody who's watched that show knows why I'm cringing. And it reads, NBA Finals career. And the next line is going to make my partner go off. Jordan versus James.
Oh, good Lord.
Now, I will not do what we usually do on Wednesdays. I will not do that. But I want my partner to send an email to this fool. I'm sorry. I want my partner to send an email to this fish-eyed fool. I'm sorry. I'll use my wife's kind word. I want my partner to send an email to this idiota. As I read the following stats, the 5 categories are points per game, rebounds per game, assists per game, double-double, and triple-double. And I'll go down the line. For MJ, the greatest, 33.6, 6.0, 6.0, 9, and 0.
Okay.
For LeBron, 27.7, 10.1, 7.5, 28, and 8.
Okay.
I'll focus on the last 2 categories before I turn this over. As far as double-doubles and triple-doubles go, as I love to say on this show often, who cares? But no. This bronzexual wants to highlight, and he put something with it as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I really got to set this up. Actually, you know what? That's all the setup you need. That's all the setup you need.
Okay. All right. Email. Speak for yourself. CC. Marcellus Wiley. BCC. Fox Sports 1. subject to female. Quit beating this dead horse. Body of female. How many meetings must you all go through? And believe me, I'm in media, and I know that when it comes to content stuff, we have to get together with one another to understand what type of content we're going to disseminate to the masses.
Oh, yeah.
So, what in these meetings are you talking about in terms of wanting to put forth this tired, this tried, this mundane, this idiotic, and this baseless comparison / argument of who's better, Michael Jordan or LeBron James? Now, your show has been in existence since 2016, so you've been running for 5.5 years. And I know in probably, I would dare say, maybe, and I really don't watch your show, but I don't need to watch your show. I'll probably say you probably talk about this at least once a week, if not once every 3 days, to validate the fact that you want to claim that the guy who is your king is better than the one who did it 6 times without a defeat in the highest of levels. And I'm not just talking about in the NBA. I'm talking about in all of basketball.
Mm-hmm.
It's getting all no. It's gotten no. They're basically zombies. I can't even say the argument's getting old. I can't even say the argument's gotten old. The argument has been dead. It's been buried. The dirt has been put over it. The funeral has been done. The last rites have been written and said. It just keeps coming up from the grave. And the reason why I say zombies is because you have to put a bullet to the head in order to kill it.
Yes.
Because just basically saying the facts just doesn't do it.
No.
Because it keeps coming up, it keeps rising up, and it keeps making its presence felt. Thank you, speak for yourself, for fanning the flames to many of these bronze sexuals and the Broners to basically have this ridiculous argument that is the bane.
Again.
Yes. That is the bane of the sports talk, sports fan, sports experience ambiance. Really, you're going to compare each other's triple doubles and double doubles in the finals? Really? You want to grasp? Really?
Mm-hmm.
Really? Okay, well, fine. Okay, well, finals. Okay, LeBron has played it. One has done something that very few have done, and Jordan included, which is he has been to 8 straight finals.
Yeah.
There we go. Those are things that LeBron has done in the finals that Jordan hasn't done.
Mm-hmm.
So let me tell you what Jordan's done and LeBron hasn't. Which is Jordan, the next time he loses a final series will be the first.
Yep.
Jordan, every finals he appeared in, he won the finals MVP in it. You can't say that about LeBron. You can say it about Jordan that every time he was on the floor, all 6 times he was in the finals, he was the best player on the floor. You could not say that.
Period.
About LeBron.
Period.
Even when everyone anointed him as the best player on the floor, in the finals, he was not. And if you want to say, well, you got to point to one, 2011, and I don't have to go any further.
Nope.
Because I can name 2 players that were better than him. Actually, I can name 3. One of them was a teammate. So you all can say who's the better number 23 all you want. I said there is no comparison. There isn't one.
There really isn't.
As great as the career has been, Jordan is superior. And that has nothing to do with any type of bias.
Mm-mm.
Because I do not hate LeBron and I don't overly love Jordan. I don't root for any. I rooted for none of the 6 teams that these two players combined played for. I hated none of the 6 teams that these combined players have played on.
Right.
So I have no horse in the race in terms of, well, because Jordan played for the Bulls, I can't stand him, or because LeBron played for the Cavs, he sucks. No. Person to person, athlete to athlete, basketball player to basketball player. And my partner too has gone down the list as to why we can definitively say that the number 23 that wore the black and the red is far superior than the one who wore the wine and the gold and the black and the red and the yellow and the orange and the purple and gold.
Mm-hmm.
It has nothing to do with age. This is not a get off my lawn take. It has nothing to do with I long for days of yesteryear with this. It has everything to do with the fact that you're comparing an athlete who transcended not just sports, but he transcended the atmosphere in which he existed during that time period. And I can only name one other athlete who's done that in my lifetime, and that name is Muhammad Ali.
Period.
And you're comparing him to a guy who, let me find the right word, lusts for what Jordan could do. Lusts for what Jordan means to masses of people and generations of people. Lusts to be the name that you mentioned before every other when it comes to the NBA annals. So that's why when you see him play on, and he can actually say another thing that he did more than Jordan, which is play more years. But that's what he's doing. He wants so desperately to be better than every other athlete, including Jordan, because that's what he wants people to say.
Oh, yeah.
He wants people to say, man, he's the best player of all time, and that includes Jordan. That's what he wants. He longs for it. He hungers for it. He lusts for it. Why do you think that he wants to have 10,000 assists for a career? Why do you think he wants to have 10,000 rebounds in a career? Why do you think that he wants to eventually pass, well, he will pass Malone sometime soon, Karl Malone sometime soon, and pass Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, not only to be the most prolific NBA scorer in the game's history, but to score 40,000 points while doing it?
Yep.
Because he knows that the idiots who root for him, not everybody, I'm not talking about those who actually have a perspective of sports and they can recognize he's a great talent, but there's certain things he has not done that others have.
Right.
I'm not talking about them, because I know a few who are LeBron fans, but they have an understanding of what sports is about. I'm talking about those where you have the blinders on and you just look at number 23 of the Los Angeles Lakers and you say, well, there isn't a player that's ever been, is, or will be like him. Ever. And to a degree, you're right. But when you have those blinders on, it means you ignore everything else.
Yep.
You ignore everyone else. And you disparage everyone else. And what these sports talk shows should do is they should inform us as fans to not just speak for ourselves, but to think for ourselves.
Did you say
That's
think?
Yes, think. THINK. Think for ourselves. That's what these shows are supposed to do. It's supposed to engender original, objective thought. But when you keep pumping this to people, when shows like Speak for Yourself, when shows like Undisputed, when shows like First Take
Oh God.
keep having these endless debates of, is LeBron better than Jordan? And we've had this conversation for going on 20 years. Because yes, we've had this conversation started since 2003. That's when I know that you as a show are absolutely 100% faulty. So, Mr. Wiley, I know you do the pom-poms for Los Angeles, all things Los Angeles. I know you were a Southern California guy. Fine. Pom-pom your way to the Lakers being mired in mediocrity, because that's where they'll be, including the King being there. But come up with better arguments. Come up with better topics of conversation.
Please.
Come up with something that will stimulate our hearts, our minds, and our hearts. Because Jordan versus LeBron, to me, is no longer the type of conversation you should bring up on Thanksgiving, Christmas dinner. Because we pretty much know it's basically going to be, I'll put it this way.
Uh-oh.
You know that you say that in first dates, there's certain topics you should never discuss and talk about.
Yep.
And normally those topics would be religion, politics, and that's true. You're normally supposed to steer clear of those types of conversations, because normally, if you introduce it, they're hardcore one way or the other,
Mm-hmm.
and you clash most of the time. Now, we have to add this. There's certain topics that we should never talk about unless you're man or woman enough to discuss them objectively.
Mm-hmm.
That is politics. That is religion. And now, that is who is better, LeBron James or Michael Jordan. Because obviously, with many people in sports and outside of it, it's now to the point where a younger generation will say LeBron for the most part.
Yep.
And the older generation for the most part would say Jordan. So what am I saying? I'm saying you're introducing a entire topic where we're going to get nowhere.
And have gotten nowhere.
So stop filling your television program with nothing content. Because there isn't anything that you're going to introduce new about LeBron James or even Michael Jordan for that matter, that's going to make people get off their prospective lawns and say, you know what, I thought Jordan was better, but I'm gonna switch and go to LeBron, or vice versa. It's not happening. So stop it. Stop
Please.
it. Bury it. And let it stay buried, because there is no conversation that is worth the time of saying, okay, LeBron's better than Jordan. Or even Jordan's better than LeBron. It's not even worth it. So stop wasting your time, stop wasting your breath, and stop wasting your meetings in having your 2-hour show talk about something that has been a dead issue for now 2 decades. Oh God, Lord! I guess I beat the horse again. Okay. Fools. Cole Johnson, Cole Sports with a Z.com.